guys, this is going to be my, basically this is the preview for Section 16, as most of you guys would know, this is the All Spider-Man Versus section. Now, yes, normally, back in the past, I used to do music videos talking about all the previews, but however, YouTube being the ever-loving dick that it is, kind of hits me with, I don't want YouTube to hit me with a copyright thing, so I'm forced to do it like this. So yeah, I'm just going to read off the list. We have a total of 40 fights for Spider-Man. And yeah, again, I would do it as like a music video, but that takes a while to do, and also, of course, the YouTube copyright thing, and I don't want to deal with all that. So again, I do apologize that I'm doing it this way, so yeah. Anyway, so this, also this gives me an opportunity to talk about how I'm going to be doing my fights from then on, how they're going to be a little more different from here on out. So anyway, so let's kick this off with first fight comes from me, Spider-Man vs. Bane. That's the kickoff for this section. Following that is Spider-Man vs. Cyborg by Zack the Thunder King. Following that is Spider-Man vs. Revy by Allison Jane. Following that is Altair, Spider-Man vs. Altair from Assassin's Creed by Serpentine451. After that is another fight that I created, Spider-Man vs. Slash from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. After that, it's Spider-Man vs. Storm Shadow from G.I. Joe by J. Al Ghul, or whatever he's calling himself now on YouTube. Following that is Spider-Man vs. Parasite by Mount Vernon Kid. After that is Spider-Man vs. Kato by Brian Kiersey. After that, it is Spider-Man vs. Ra's al Ghul by Codename Crimson Sword. And following that is another fight that I created, Spider-Man vs. Solomon Grundy. Yeah, so I know Kirk's all happy about that. Anyway, following that is Spider-Man vs. Sub-Zero by 58362HHHHH. Sub-Zero from Mortal Kombat. After that, it is Spider-Man vs. Judge Dredd by Treva Smolka. Again, I apologize if I butcher any of these names. I deeply apologize for that. After that is Spider-Man vs. Aquaman by Megan Reviews. After that is Spider-Man vs. Hellboy. This is another fight that I created. After that is Spider-Man vs. Ozymandias from Watchmen by Death Christ 2000. After that, we have Spider-Man vs. the Shredder. Yeah, that's going to be a good one. And that one comes from Wolfman the Impaler. Following that is another fight that I created, Spider-Man vs. the Royal Flush Gang. Yeah, Spider-Man's going to be having a bit of a handicap match here. After that is Spider-Man vs. Azula, and that comes from Marcus Keener, which will be followed by Spider-Man vs. Shadowhawk by The Spawn 117. And after that, we have Spider-Man vs. Harong from the Tekken games by Taj Harrison. Again, I hope I'm saying that name right. After that, we have Spider-Man vs. Rex Salazar by Grodhanks. Man, I think I just totally butchered that name. I'm sorry. After that is another fight I created, Spider-Man vs. Roberta. Yeah, it's another good fight that I really wanted to do. I told you guys that I was going to do this fight. This was going to be one of the fights for old Peter Parker in this section. After that, we have Spider-Man vs. Beast Boy by Xavion James. Following that, we have Spider-Man vs. Lex Luthor by Young Jayway 123. And which is followed by Spider-Man vs. Kakashi from Naruto by Ivan Krolo. Next we have Spider-Man vs. Warblade, another fight I created, which will be then followed by Spider-Man vs. the Astounding Wolfman by Sly Cooper 88. Next we have Spider-Man vs. Inuyasha by Green Arrow Hunter. And next up, then we have Spider-Man vs. Demona from Gargoyles by Greg XB3. Following that will be Spider-Man vs. Kasumi from the Dead or Alive game series by Burnouter 7. Next is another fight I created, Spider-Man vs. Savage Dragon. Yeah. Which will be then followed by Spider-Man vs. Midnighter by Iron X Knight. Next up, we have Spider-Man versus Scorpion. Not Marvel Scorpion. Keep it. Well, obviously, yeah. It's Spider-Man It's Spider-Man against Scorpion from the Mortal Kombat games. Yeah. And that fight comes from Jesse MB27. Next, we have Spider-Man versus Vamp from the Metal Gear games, and that fight comes from Dylan Malone. Dylan Malone 14. Following that is Spider-Man versus Goliath, also from Gargoyles, by Craig Simon. Next, we have Spider-Man versus Terry McGinnis Batman by Sid Part 2. Now, I know I said, no Batman, but I was referring to Bruce Wayne, because they had already met and fought in 2 other crossover comics, so I didn't really feel the need to have him in there. However, I was totally, when Ian, Sid Part 2, came to me and said, hey, is it cool if I use this, if I don't use that Batman, but instead is this Batman, I was like, yeah, okay. So yeah, Spider-Man versus Terry McGinnis Batman from, of course, Batman Beyond. Following that is Spider-Man versus Ballistic from Cyberforce. That's another fight from me, which will be then followed by Spider-Man versus the Creeper by Milan Jeftic, 1992. And then another fight I created, Spider-Man versus Prometheus, also another DC Comics character. And then, finally, Spider-Man's final fight will be Spider-Man versus Yujiro Hanma from Baki the Grappler. Yeah, and that fight comes from Jerkwater 100. So, yeah. Spider-Man's old Pete's going to be running the gauntlet here. I'm not going to lie, he is going to run the gauntlet in this section. But anyway, now that, so those are the fights you guys can look forward to. I'm going to make a quick announcement as well. You're going to be seeing 2 of these fights tonight. You're going to be seeing the first 2 fights. So yeah, you're going to see Spider-Man versus Bane and Spider-Man versus Cyborg from Zack the Thunder King. So look forward to that later tonight. And yeah, also, let me explain how the fights are going to go on from now on. Since most of the guys know who the star character is from now on, I'm going to just talk about the opponent that character is going to be fighting in the verdict. I'm going to talk about just the opponent and just tell about, hey, this is what Spider-Man, or hey, this is what Captain America is going up against in this fight. And then when I get to the verdict, then I'll break it down from there. So, yeah, a little different. It's going to be a lot different because I figured at this point it'd pretty much be me saying, oh, well, y'all know what Spider-Man is, move on to the next guy. So yeah, it'll be pretty much me talking about the opponent for that said character of each section, in this case Spider-Man, because we all know what Spider-Man's capable of, and just go on to the verdict to see who would come out, in my opinion, to come out on top. So, yeah, just my opinion of see who would come out on top, or maybe not at all. Some of these fights are, a lot of these fights I get are really close, and I can't really call a winner anyway, so I leave it up to you guys anyway. But yeah, that's how the fights are going to go from now on. So yeah, hope you guys look forward to that. And yeah, stay tuned because Spider-Man vs. Bane and Spider-Man vs. Cyborg is coming up later tonight. So again, stay tuned, and yeah, I'm out.